This video is a demo of an experiment I've done on a Semantic wiki empowered by web components. I'll assume that you all know what a wiki is, so I'll first start to describe what a semantic wiki is, and then I'll explain what web components can do for us there. So a semantic wiki, this is something which already exists. You can look up Semantic Media Wiki. It has been there for years and is used by big companies like Pfizer, for example, to manage their information efficiently. So now I'll show you how it works in my prototype. So I'll create a new article about aspirin again. So on the left, this is what users will see. It's the start of the article. On the right, this is what will be saved in the database that I left visible for you to see how it works technically. It wouldn't be there in a productive product, of course. So here I can type something about aspirin. So molecular weight is 200 micrograms per something. I'm not a chemist, sorry. And it has been saved like that in the database as just text. So far nothing special. Now what I can not do with a regular wiki is do data mining on this, for example. If, for example, I want to answer what's the average molecular weight of drugs of this category, I cannot do it with a search engine. I need some proper data mining tool, and I need the data to be stored in a structured database. And this is where the semantic aspect of the wiki comes in. So let me show you how that would work. The first thing would be to save this as a template about my page about drugs. For example, if I work in a big company and I might want people in my company to store information about drugs in this kind of template. So I save it like that. I call it drug overview, for example, and I say it's about a drug. And this particular article is about aspirin. So now the article is tagged for aspirin here, and this will be quite useful. If I go back to the home page, I see it has been saved as a drug overview article, and if I create a new one, let's say about paracetamol, I can pick now the template here, and when I create the article, it just recreates whatever is in the template already, and I can start editing it. Now I go back to my aspirin one, and what I can do now is that now that people are creating these articles based on template, I can select this value here and click on data, and now I can make it a triplet. So a triplet is one way to store knowledge in a structured way in the form of an object, a subject, and a predicate. And in that case, the object is what I've selected, so the molecular weight. The subject is the aspirin, because it picked up by default from the page it came from. And the predicate, I can call it, for example, is mole weight. Now when I click save, the user can see that this is now a placeholder. On mouse over, I see what it means. And if I click it, I can edit it. So if I go now in the paracetamol page, I can say here it's 300. And now it starts saving things in the database. So now I'll show you the database in the backend. So this is what is stored from the wiki. And in the triplets here, the last one should be what I've just done. Yeah, so the 300 microgram for aspirin. And now with all these triplets, I can do advanced data mining with specialized tools. So how has it been saved in the database? There is this triplet, which is there, structured for data mining, but what is displayed here is HTML, and this is what is here on the right. So you see data markup has been inserted, and this is obviously not standard HTML. This is a web component, which stores the predicate, the subject. The object will be the content, and here that's the technical identifier of the triplet. And this is one of the web components that we can develop to make the wiki more semantic and to enable data mining. But there are many others. So for those who have seen already my video about how I categorize web components, this is an example of what you can do with this categorization. So I've done two here, constructors and containers. So constructors are doing things in the page by themselves. So I can type here if I want a constructor. So let me pick one up. So this one here. So this one is drawing a molecule. So it takes a smile structure of the molecule as an input parameter and it draws it. So I copy this here and it appears in my article. So that's pretty convenient because now if I have things which are pretty difficult computationally or which requires live access to a database for fast changing data, it's really much better than doing it manually and copy pasting images in your page and then it's outdated the next day. So obviously people will not type this. They could, some of them might, but they will use the UI. So if I click constructor here, it's looking up a catalog of constructors. So right now I have very few of them, but there could be more. So now I'll show you, for example, one which comes from the OpenFacts API, which is showing you some information about the compound. So here I enter the compound, which is picked up by default, aspirin. I save. It inserts this here. The most important part is this one, which is the web component. And as you can see, it gets all the data automatically there. So these are constructors. They do stuff. Let me clean that up. And now we'll have the containers. So containers is the second category. In contrast to constructors, sorry, they don't do anything by themselves. They just create a space within which you can have access to data attributes, functionalities, interactions with remote APIs and so on. So you have to describe yourself what you want to do. So let me show you. I'll pick up a container. There is only one in the catalog so far. So it's using the same compound API, except that instead of drawing it for you in a predefined way, it gives you much finer granularity on how you want to show things. So again, you have to enter the compound name, but then below you have the different fields there. And I can say, okay, I want biotransformation only. So I click biotransformation, and it writes me here the syntax that fetches this biotransformation data. And now I can mix it with my own text if I want. So I can make a title. There it is, and I click save. And there you are. So you have the biotransformation, so live from the remote API here, and this text is my own text that I typed in the wiki. And on the right it saved that ugly stuff, so I won't go into the technical details because people will not have to see it. I'll do a second video which shows you a bit how it works technically, but this will be only for programmers. For simply how you would use this wiki, I think that's a good overview. The key message here is that the nice thing is that you can really combine the human way of approaching knowledge, which is telling stories, writing things in free text with full flexibility, which is really well implemented by wikis in general. And you combine this human way of approaching things with the computer way of approaching things, which is databases and computation. And you bring them together in one space where the user can mix his own text with these web components and data semantic elements to have something which is both flexible, powerful, automated, and storing data in a database for further analysis. And yeah, that's only a prototype. There would be a lot more work to make it really user-friendly, but it's totally doable already now, technically, and I think it would be really nice to have something. Maybe it already exists, I don't know. I didn't do my research. Okay, so thank you, that was it, and bye-bye.